I'm Victor Boschini, and I am fortunate enough and honored to be the 10th Chancellor of Texas Christian University. And I've been here for a little over 20 years now, and I can be honest and say I've really enjoyed just about every minute of it. I think the secret sauce of TCU is the camaraderie and the connection that everybody here seems to have because it's genuine. Alums, housekeeping staff, the professors, the current students, athletics. There's like a thread woven between all of us. When Megan and I first came, I have to say, we thought it was fake. Because we're from the Midwest, not from the Texas area, and the fact that everybody was so incredibly friendly, we thought, they're kind of putting this on to impress the candidates or whatever. But after we were here for a couple of days, we realized this is in the fabric of this place. And that's when we both looked at each other in our hotel room one night and we're like, we better get down on our knees and pray this place takes us. I spent my first year kind of listening. I came in, I said, with a pen and a paper, not a sword. But what I found out by listening is that this place had unlimited potential and in so many different areas. We weren't in the top 100 of universities. We wanted to be in the top 100. That was one of our first goals. We wanted to have more of a national presence. That was one of our goals. We wanted our students to be from a more diverse group of students and to be a more geographically diverse group. That was another goal we had. We also, a lot of us thought there's tremendous potential here to raise funds for Texas Christian University because we have a good thing here. I'm a big believer that the physical built environment of any institution affects the way and impacts the way the people in that institution act. Physically, campus was much different in 2002, 2003 than it is today. And when they asked me in the interview what my initial thought of the physical part of campus was, I said, to me, it looked like a parking lot surrounded by a college, but I thought it should be a college surrounded by a parking lot. And so I was lucky enough to be able to work on that over the last 20 years, but not me, with a huge group of people who made all of this happen. We have three really unique common areas at TCU. We have the intellectual commons, the creative commons, and the campus commons. All three serve a different purpose, but all three also serve one in the same purpose, and that's to connect the people in those physical areas. You only get one chance to make a first impression. And when you're a student and a family looking at TCU, I want you to leave this place and go, wow. Aside from the facilities for around our campus to live in and to be educated in, we've also done a lot of improvements to the athletic facilities at TCU. And personally, I think a lot of education goes on in those buildings too. Just not everybody sees that because there's 600 athletes and a lot of the other students and faculty and staff don't see what happens in those buildings. But I think they're pretty important. I also think that the athletics presence of TCU is important in America in general because it's the front door for a lot of people. It brings them onto campus, and then hopefully when they open that door, they're like, wow, this place has a medical school, this place has incredible students, this place is doing amazing things with research and things for our students and faculty and staff. But they wouldn't see that if they didn't first hear about the Horned Frogs and know that we went to the Fiesta Bowl and know that, our women's rifle team was the #1 in America. Those kind of things get attention for TCU that we couldn't get in other ways. Of course, the most important part of TCU is that we educate students. We had a goal 20 years ago of improving the intellectual atmosphere at TCU and the academic reputation of TCU. And I'm really proud to say I think we've done that, but I think one of the signature moments of increasing our academic profile has been the addition of the Burnett School of Medicine. I think 150 years from now, people are going to say that was the defining moment of this era of TCU. The strength of our faculty and the strength of our staff, that's the strength of TCU. And if you look back, even in 1873, Addison and Randolph Clark, they were very purposeful on who they hired to interact with the students. And that's the same thing we do today. And so if you look both in our classrooms, in our laboratories, in our theater, on our stages, on our football fields, you see people that want the students they're working with to have a peak experience. And that's what makes TCU so great, in my opinion. We've had many big recognizable moments at TCU. We're in run right now. It's called the 150th year, the sesquicentennial. We had the Rose Bowl. We had when TCU broke into the top 100. We had when game day came to TCU. Those are big mass events that a lot of people got a lot out of. And I think those are important. But I think the most important thing is that day-to-day, one-on-one that takes place where a professor sees in that student's mind that they get it. You know, you can't buy that. And that happens every day across our campus in many different ways that many of us won't even see. But if you're those two people involved, that changes you. I would say in general, during these past 20 years, the ones I've been fortunate enough to witness, it's not been all puppies and ice cream. There's been some really tough times, but I think getting through those tough times have made us a stronger university and has made us as individuals more resilient. I have many, many favorite memories as chancellor. My own kids graduating from TCU, getting to hand them their diplomas. Those are probably amongst my favorite memories. All the students I've taught in my classes, I love that. The Rose Bowl, that was amazing. The first time we broke into the top 100 schools. You know, a lot of these things meant a lot to me that might not mean as much to other people, but it's been fun for me. My relationship with our students, I love that. My relationship with our faculty and staff and with our board of trustees. I can't imagine a better place to work. You know, I've never worked at IBM or any other big company or Xerox or something like that, but I can't imagine the atmosphere would be as exciting as at TCU, where you have 12,000 students doing fun things and crazy things, coming up with these amazing new ideas by the second. And it just makes my job so much more enjoyable. If you look up across the landscape of higher ed in America right now, there's a lot of tumult. There are a lot of schools collapsing. There are schools disappearing, like literally before our eyes. TCU's not in that position. We are blessed. And so I think the next 150 years, it's unlimited. I wish I was going to be alive to see it because I think it's going to be so exciting. But I think the people here now, they've done a lot to make this base, like we stand on the shoulders of giants. So many people before us have made this place better. And it's going to be fun to see how it unfolds in the future.